Hello. It's been a while since the last recording. I wanted to record this session for myself um, to reflect back in the future. How was my analysis and how did I see the future for Bitcoin or the price action? So let's get onto it. So this is the daily chart for Bitcoin. I usually look at the log. I believe this is a better representation of the trends over the years. So if we look at weekly chart, I can clearly see a wedge forming, and this wedge, it could be an ending, and I believe we just broke this wedge, and I believe it's a bit more bearish now. We can also tell this by the slope has changed from this way to a little bit like this. So we can tell this is a bit more bearish, and the next really the low point that I believe we can get is really to this level, which is really 30k. But I hope we won't see the 30k. However, if it comes, I will be really bullish around this area, buying a lot of, putting a lot of big portion of my portfolio into this. But this is the big picture. This is how I see, and I do put quite some emphasis of breaking this long-term trend. So with that in mind, let's go in a little deeper into dailies. So as you can see that this was forming, I believe, an ABC with an extended C. How it started was an A, B, and a C here, and ended, and you can also see it in parallel. However, this was extended with breaking upwards, so this trend is very significant. It also shows the significance of the trend by breaking the previous resistance. So you can also tell this area was a big resistance selling side. However, it broke in one go. It's really saying that this trend is important, and that importance means for us trading opportunity. We want to find these flaws in these charts to get into it. So to think this in mind, we can find the next trading opportunity. So how this part ended was with an ending, right? So how I see it, it was an ABC with an C extension. Let's see, like this. So this was ended up being an ABC instead of C being here. It was extended, and since it's an extension, it could have ended here, but of course it's an extension, very bullish. Then you get a couple more ABCs going around. I also think these are ABCs, but maybe this is an ending here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with an expanding. So I do think it's more like this. So it ended up being A, B, and then long-term C with an ending. I remove these. Then we would start to count down the fall. So usually if there is an extension, something like this is a really widely seen, and when it comes back down, you always get a little bit support where it started on the extension. So it could be somewhere around here, it could be somewhere around here, and if it's being supported around here, I see that this level this level has been upgraded, let's say, going into the next level. So it could be something like this, coming down and then or going more upwards. So that's scenario 1. Let's put it here. Scenario 1, support in the extension. So this also means up. And another scenario is that when it comes down, instead of supporting, you break. And according to how this is broken, you can also see downwards. So that's scenario 2. Break the extension, support in the core zone, down or sideways. And that I believe will be supported around this zone area. And this you'll probably get a box zone where it'll be very indecisive. It could go up or down, very indecisive. That's why I wrote it down. So let's see with these scenarios how can we trade. So as I acknowledged, this trend is very important, and we have to first see. Okay, I'll write it down here. First, identify imbalance. So what I mean by imbalance is, for example, this extension is an imbalance, and that's the important area. Identify liquidity. Where whales can join, let's say, can control. Oh, where'd it go? And then 3. Find trading opportunity. So if I just look at this, okay, we have identified the market imbalance, which is around in this area. Currently it's being supported in this zone. However, I do believe with the long-term trend breaking, there is a very big potential to go downwards. So even if it was going up, I would have seen going down eventually at some point. Second one, identify liquidity. Where the liquidity is the bestly formed is really on a trend line, for example, like this. Trend line, you support, and then it breaks. Liquidity is provided here, and then goes back down. So that's one way to do it. Another one is very easy, where everyone sets stop losses, which is this area. You could also have miners resist these liquidity around these areas, but I want to see a bigger picture, so these areas. Liquidity. So in the long term, I want to see the liquidity happening also where the market imbalance is, and I recognize once this hits here, you will get a big sell-off, and depending on the size of the sell-off, you could get maybe something like this, or could be something like this, because you will have another liquidity imbalancing, liquidity here. So it could be a massive sell-off, which then really supports the idea towards the say 30k, and that will be the time when a lot of people will flip shit and saying Bitcoin is the end, where for me I believe that's the area of interest. I will be really buying a lot or trading a lot in those areas. There will be a lot of fake outs, but I would like to still participate. What we need to do is be alive, make sure we trade a lot of times, and don't trade in big amounts. But the second one, we have identified the liquidity. Let's find trading opportunities. So the opportunities really comes in these support areas. As you see, we have the big collection zones around this area, and I think it's fair to just take the midpoint and then just make the line. Of course, the target has to be, the entry has to be really precise. That's where you go into 30 minutes, 15 minutes, even 5 minutes. I often do it in 1 minute, but it's not recommended as I find a lot of flaws there. Then that is my scenarios at the moment. So scenario up, first scenario that's going up is I would still find it will go up until this liquidity breaks. So I do believe this zone is the critical zone where it comes back. I don't know how it will form, but it will form to go upwards. That is the last resort. And if it falls, and then when it comes back, I think I will still bet on downwards. That is my view at this moment. Okay, so that's the big market. Let's put this aside. Let's go into a little bit inwards and where we are at now at this moment. So just going back to dailies to look how these were formed in Elliot wave. We can tell if we just make an easy trend that this trend has been broken. And this has been broken with a massive sell-off. It's probably a squeeze. The buying pressure has come up, but if you look at this is literally a straight line. It can't be good for the future. So whenever it goes up, I don't know, it could be here, it could be here, it could be here. Whenever it goes up, I will still look a bit downwards. And that's not good, because at this level, it's already at the midpoint. So if it's a good buying area, I would expect somewhere around the discount zones, something like this. You can also see a liquidity zone here. So it could be a fair statement to see something like here or even here, and then not breaking here to go upwards. And this will be a major upward, I think. If it's not, it will be a way too big of a sell-off that I don't think it will happen in this society at this moment, unless bad things really happen. Who knows? But I will try a lot to enter in these areas and see what the direction will provide us. So that is my current view, going to see the breaking of this area. And I believe it will happen around somewhere here. So let's go to 4 hours. I didn't do the counting, but I think this counting is quite straightforward. We first had an A, B, C with an extension C, I think. So it probably looks like something like this. And this was supposed to be a C around, I believe, somewhere here. You support in these areas, and then it breaks the liquidity and goes down all the way to here. This is an extension. As I mentioned, extensions are a bit more direction providing signals. So you can also see when it comes back up, it was resisted from the top where it's supposed to be coming back. Okay. And this also gives an ABC. That's an easy one. I think you can also draw. And the last one is going down, and this is the most tricky part, because I do think this was a bit of a panic sell, so I don't know how to count this. But if we just look at the channeling, the C has been shown, and to me this one looks like something it's not ended, so it could do something like this, like an ending. I think this makes more sense, but I don't know how to count at this moment. So in that case, we go into a little bit deeper to see what's inside, what's really forming. So in here, I think it can be clearly seen this as an impulse, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a clear impulse going up, resisted, 2, and that's also another impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then instead of going 4 on the sideways, it was really fast. So what I believe what's happening is 3 got extended. How? Something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is just my analysis. Maybe a lot of people won't agree, but I think this is very significant. It should have been ended around here. However, it got really accelerated around this area, and you can see that a big sell-off happened around this area. So how do I see this is an extension of the 3, and this is where it got extended. So this area is the extension. So in this case, what do? I usually trade in these regions, something like up down, and then as soon as one of the breaks happen, then I get the direction where it might go. So I was a bit hesitated where really will be the complete resistance, but I can see that this is the first potential. So something like 4, and then 5 to come something soon. So that's how I see. Then let's go into a bit more details here. As I mentioned, I believe this is the end. Something like break of structure. Then I can see count from here. This is a clearly ABC, and then ABC, B, C, or A, B, C, something like this. Then I can also do, sorry, this was the end. So A, B, and then it's C going up. And here is the big question, whether the C has been completed like this, which might be really true. I don't know if you've seen this. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that it's very possible. And if not, what is the next? So maybe you can also count something like a B as 1A, B, and then C as a triangle, something like this. So A, B, and then the whole trend starts here. And what's the difference if we start here or here? Then the counting starts different. So what it could do is, this is ABC, and then going down, maybe here is end, maybe a bit down, but as long as this breaks, I don't see this as a valid counting anymore, but it's possible to see something like this. In order for this to happen is you need to go up. I think this is the edge, or a little bit down, then it's the edge, and then you have to break through here, you have to break through here. So if I see an ABC up, I will probably short around this area, but when it supports and then break in this area, then that is the start of going upwards. And it could go maybe something like this. It could be as simple as this. Then fall. So this is also a scenario. Another scenario is around here. So the B starts here. And then the C ends here. I hope you see this one too. In my view, this one makes the most sense, and I think very likely, according to my analysis of the extension. So this level is the level that I will probably take a bit long-term short, but it's a bit also a bit scary, because if it breaks, it might go higher. So we have to see what happens. Then I will take the short here and see how it goes in this region. So in the end, I do see the 5 downwards as a long-term plan for now. And once this is shown in this same trend, then I will probably see a bit more upwards, maybe more on the sideways part, and there will be a lot of fake outs, really trying to stop out. So a lot of expanding. So for example, A. And when it's B, it might do a lot of these items, this stop outs. So yeah, take short stops, low risk, but let's play along. Okay, so that's the midterm view on it. And also a little bit of short term, what do I think in this region, and if it comes back down to break this and here, then that's the really tough part, where I don't know exactly what's the plan. I think I'll just check and see what it looks like. And if I go to 15 minutes to the last, I think it was a good try around this area. This was a very important area. You can also see the volume was spiked. Of course, you have more spikes here, but that's expected with this humongous price action. Here, you don't expect a big price action, but you can see a lot of volume happen. And if I analyze what happens here, is that was the last resort to go upwards. So it could have been this, but then it broke, and it chose the other direction instead, and I took the wrong betting. And to see really what happened is I believe the formation of the head and shoulders happened. So head and shoulders happen when the trends are breaking apart in a break in a good direction, with the very large volume, and once this trend has completed with decreasing volume and decreasing RSI, as you can see here, 15 minutes, you can see the RSI decrease, the volume spikes happen, and then it starts to decrease significantly. Then the formation starts when you hit the first support, and once you go up, you get the last resistance, and when it comes back down, this is the fight zone where it can potentially go upwards or downwards. And if it's downwards, then the head and shoulder pattern has been confirmed, and the direction is formed. So I believe this is more likely at that moment, because of lack of what do you call this, lack of buyers here. You have the liquidity here, you want to get the liquidities to get all the way down, and I think that was the best to do. Also a fake impulse. This is an ABC after all. It's a fake impulse to trick people to enter, like me, to go upwards. But I was lucky that I took a stop loss, a short one, so it's good. So with that, we can start to check what the trend line has been. We can see that trend broke. It does not look good, and even this trend did not look good, because once you go down, what you expect is you also hit here to go down. But what they did is here, it literally narrowed down to this area, and it really fastens the growth. And how do you see this is you can do a different slope angle. Yep. The slope angle really determined a lot for the trend ending. So how do I count this? I see A, B, C. C as no extension, but increasing slope. So direction steepens. And once that direction is steepening, it then formed, I believe, more layers into it, and that C was ended with a bit of a pattern like this. Something you might call it ending, but I don't think this is an ending. This is more like going like this, and then sideways, and going back down. So it looks like to me either ABC has ended, or there's one more to finalize, and I don't know. This is very tough, but if I look at the liquidity point of view, once this liquidity is taken, the next liquidity potentially is here, and I see the potential, the possibility for the market to drive downwards, to take this liquidity, and then here to decide whether go up or steepens. So this is also another important point that you want to see the volumes, and also the RSI, whether it supports or not. And if this is decided, then you can see also what I mentioned, whether it starts from here makes sense, or here it makes sense, or here it makes sense. So this has to be defined. So if it goes down a bit lower and then goes upwards, then this is when the fear, let's say the shootings might happen. But at one point, it might take all the liquidity to go drive downwards. So that's how I see it. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for listening, whoever is there. I'll be happy to also talk about other stuff as well if you're interested. But also, if you don't agree, that's also fine. So it's for me mainly. So I hope you enjoy. Thanks.